Hi, everybody. It's Mike from Hear the Watchman. And on this edition of the Watchman's Report, to have with us none other than Brittany Tolley. Brittany is the wife of radio show host Josh Tolley. She is a true Christian sister in the effort that we have in front of us today to what do I want to say? To really in of Christ in everything that we do. Brittany and Josh have now been to at least 2 Hear the Watchman conferences. They will be at the Hear the Watchman conference in Boise, Idaho, August 18th through the 21st, where Josh will be sharing on his insights, and he is truly a man of God. And you know, Jeannie and I were lucky enough to have attended their wedding recently earlier this year, and it was a beautiful wedding. Brittany, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me on the show tonight, Mike. It's always a pleasure talking to you and talking about what we have in common.
Well, Brittany, you know, tonight we're going to talk about, I am so impressed with what you're doing. You're part of a march. It's a nationwide march against Sharia law. Tell us a little bit about that and what you're going to be doing in this march and why we as Christians especially against Sharia law.
Absolutely. So I am part of the organization called Act for America. The founder is Brigitte Gabriel, who is Lebanese born. And Act for America is the largest national grassroots organization that is fighting for our American values, fighting for our freedoms. I am a chapter leader here in the St. Louis area. It's actually called the Greater St. Louis chapter. And we are fighting against Sharia coming to this country, what Sharia is. So if I may just take a moment to explain Sharia. Sharia is an Islamic word, and it literally means Islamic law. So when you hear Sharia, it's akin to Islamic law, and it is formed out of 2 different belief systems. One is the life of Muhammad, which is Sunnas, and the writings of Muhammad, which is found in the Quran. So these 2 books make up what is considered Sharia law or Islamic law. And this law is, first of all, it's incompatible with our US Constitution. I'm going to go over a couple of reasons why. And it's very important for us to know this because, unfortunately, the whole goal of Sharia, the whole goal of Islam, is none other than to take over the world. That is literally Pinky in the Brain come alive, and they are trying to take over every single country, just like they're doing over there in Europe. And so as we were seeing just yesterday, Josh and I were looking at the number of governors. I'm not sure if they're called governors, but over in the UK, they have different territories and regions. And right now, 9 governors in the UK. The UK is the size of Wisconsin. And they already have 9 Muslim governors in the whole country. They have over 3,000 mosques, over 130 Sharia courts that decide people's, justice determined by Sharia in Islamic law, not according to the UK Constitution. And that's exactly what they're trying to do in every single country around the world. So we, as a part of Act for America, and also just citizens, Americans, we are standing up and saying, no, we don't want Sharia here in this country because it is not compatible with our US Constitution. Examples of why it is not. Sharia is very oppressive for women. The whole word Islam really means submission. So the whole goal is submission, whether it's a man submitting to God, which sounds all well and good, or it's a woman submitting to a man, which is fine. But when we take it into the context of what is written in both the Quran and the Muhammad, we're seeing that their type of submission is not the same type of submission that we use or that we appropriate here in our country. In the Quran, chapter 2, verses 282, A woman's testimony is only worth half of a man's in court. Therefore, if you want to call a woman to testify in court, you actually have to call 2 women in for every 1 man. That's not what we find here in our country. We have 1 and 1. To prove a rape, a woman must have 4 male witnesses of her rape that it was actually a rape. Now, the rate that we're going over in Sweden, where the rape has increased over 700% in the past couple years, are you going to get 4 males to testify on your behalf if you're a woman? Absolutely not. The women are so scared over in Europe to even testify that they have been raped that most women aren't even saying anything. But we know that the rape accounts are skyrocketing through the roof, and these poor women, they can't even do anything. They can't even speak out against it. A husband can beat his wife if she is rebellious. In the Quran, he can beat her. You will see videos on YouTube where a man will take a little tiny, looks like a twig or a little reed, and he'll go swat, swat. That's not what it's talking about. It's not a little swat, swat. Okay, honey, don't do that again. Shame, shame. No, no, no. Look at the way the suicide bombers act. You know, they come out with knives and machetes. Take that to a smaller scale and put that in the home. Some people have wondered, why are the women all so covered up? Female genital mutilation is actually in the Constitution of Sharia, and they say that FGM, is what it's called, is obligatory for females. Now, if anybody's looking to FGM, it is not the same practice. And it's even becoming more and more legal here in the States because we, under our U.S. Constitution, cannot prove that it is, we can't say that it's against a religion, because we're kind of falling into a catch-22 there. And Sharia law says that female genital mutilation is obligatory. We have already seen 500,000 women, that's in the count right now, 500,000 women here in this country who have been mutilated. Monstrous. And it's all because Sharia law is bringing this in. So what we are doing is we have a march happening on Saturday. Now, I'm leading the one here in the St. Charles County, but there are marches happening in 29 cities around the country this Saturday, June 10th. Marches are to stand up and say, no Sharia in this country. We are standing for the U.S. Constitution, and we're not going to allow Sharia law to come in.
Well, Brittany, you know, I'm so pleased to see women standing up against Sharia law. The whole issue of female genital mutilation is just so disgusting, and it starts at a very young age. It really does, and it's just a disgusting practice. Mm-hmm. And you're right, but do you find Christians as a whole, are they willing to join you in this march, or have you struggled to get people to join you? How's it going?
You know, we've actually seen both sides. We see people who are tired of being so politically correct that they fall into these little soft bubble circles and complacent Christianity. They're tired of that. We're seeing people, obviously, who are staying in those little circles. That's why they exist. And so, yes and no. There are people coming out of the woodworks. I've had people call me. This one gentleman I got in contact with, he is from Kentucky. And I talked to him over the phone. He said, I am so excited about your march. I am driving all the way up from Kentucky just to come march with you because I believe that that's how important this is. So yes, there are people who are saying, you know what, I'm glad someone is finally standing up for our American values. I want to join you. Down to people who want to stand up, who's going to lead it? Who's going to stand up and say, okay, come on, let's go meet here at this place at this time. Let's all hold up signs, because a unified effort is stronger than a disunified one. So we have power in numbers when we come together, because I can tell you, Mike, that there are more people that are sitting out on their couches saying, man, I wish I could do something, but I don't know what to do.
You know, Brittany, you're so right. And folks, if we unify, we can fight against this Islamic threat. You know, the Islamic threat to America your husband and I have talked about this, is not just by a suicide bomber. It's the invasion of our every way of life. They're an insidious enemy, very insidious enemy that has been coming after us for decades. It's not a recent event. Now, Brittany, if there are women out there that want to join you or want to join in another city, how do they find out about the march?
Sure. Well, first of all, they can go to actforamerica.org. And on the Act for America website, there is a tab that says March Against Sharia. It actually has the locations listed. If they don't find it there, they can also go onto Facebook and type in March Against Sharia. And a lot of the march locations have a Facebook page set up for them. So there's those two options. And I know that there are people who are joining the March for Sharia who are not even part of Act for America. You know, they're bystanders. They're people who are just saying, you know what, I agree with what you're doing. I don't necessarily need to be part of the organization, but I want to stand up just for my American values and my American freedoms. So those people are absolutely welcome as well.
Well, what a great effort. What a great effort. Now, did I notice something earlier today about you were on television there in the local area talking about the march?
Yeah, what's crazy, Josh and I were driving home from a speaking engagement, and so I was in the car, and a friend of mine sent me a text and said, hey, I saw you on the news. Thinking about, you know, I've not been interviewed. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. And so she said, well, let me take a picture. And she sent me the picture that I posted on Facebook of, what was it, One America Network. And apparently they had gotten the pictures from Act for America. These are chapter leaders who were holding up the sign that says March Against Sharia, and it has the name of their city, possibly. And so apparently they picked mine to put up on TV. I had no idea until it had already happened. So that was kind of a surprise to me. But you know, I'm willing to stand up and say, yes, I am fighting against Sharia because, you know, it's like the old adage says, if you don't fight for anything, then you will live for nothing. You know, step and fight against my enemy, fall by my enemy and not have done anything about it. Because I know I'm not only standing up for myself, I'm not only standing up for you, Mike, and my husband, but I'm standing up for all of the other people who live in my area and who live in my country. These are inherent rights that we're fighting for and not against.
Well, Brittany, it's awesome that you're doing that. Folks, I want you to join. I want you to go out there. I want you to help Brittany get the message out that we won't tolerate Sharia law. Now, Brittany and Josh will be at the Hear the Watchman MEN conference in Boise, Idaho. They were at Dallas and did an outstanding job together there. This time in Boise, I'm sorry, we are going to be doing breakout sessions on Sunday, and one of those will be Brittany and Josh, and you don't want to miss it. You want to get there. You want to be involved. Go to hearmen.com. Get your tickets today. Be blessed by people like Brittany and Josh. Josh has a wonderful book, The Evangel, just butcher the name, but you can go to Josh Tolley. Just Google Josh Tolley YouTube or Josh Tolley radio show. Go there, follow what Josh is doing. You know, we had some friends, Chance and Merrill, outside of the Austin area, who went to a recent seminar put on by Josh. And Chance called me up and said, this seminar changed my life and changed business from now. It's a Christian seminar about doing business, about looking at a different way to grow your business. And you want to follow Josh and Brittany. Again, Google him. Also, Brittany's on Facebook. Go follow Brittany. She posts some really inspirational things on Facebook. We want to see you all support them and do everything you can to make their ministry and be able to continue on blessing those that come to their seminars and come to hear them speak at the Hear the Watchman conferences. Brittany, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Mike, so much for having me on, and I look forward to seeing you again, and also having another interview with my husband, because he's just an awesome powerhouse, a wealth of information, and just encouraging entrepreneurship, encouraging freedom in every way that we can. So thank you. God bless you, Mike. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And we'll see you, Brittany, in Boise, Idaho. And by the way, there happens to be a Joe's Crab Shack right within like maybe 100 yards of the hotel that we're going to be at. So I think you and Josh and Jeannie and I might have to, for a little festive dinner while we're there. Folks, again, thank you for being a part of the Watchman Report. Again, support Josh Tolley, support Brittany Tolley. Josh Tolley, Google him, follow his YouTube channel. Do everything you can to get enlightened and learn so you don't have to be in a state of fear anymore. Till I see you next time here on the Watchman's Report, God bless each and every one of you, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.